Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again. This is Haroon. In this video, we're going to be talking about some incidents from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which teaches about how to inspire our children. And one should always use words very, very carefully and reflectively. So, for example, we find in the seerah, the life of the Prophet ﷺ, that even when he came across small children, he would always make an effort to use words that would indeed make them feel very, very special. So we have an example of a little boy, perhaps around the age of 3 years old, and he had a little bird, a nightingale, the name of which was Nughair. One day this bird died, and so the boy was a little sad, very, very sad, because he was playing with this bird. It was very close to him. So the Prophet found out, and the Prophet passed him by, and it's mentioned in the books of hadith, for example in Sahih al-Bukhari, that the Prophet said, Ya Aba Umair, ma fa'ala al-Nughair. That's, O father of Umair, or Abu Umair, what has happened to your Nughair? What has happened to this Nughair? So Prophet made a rhyme out of this using his name, Ya Aba Umair, ma fa'ala Nughair. For example, we also find another example. This is also mentioned in the books of hadith, narrated by Khalid bin Khalid, that the Prophet ﷺ was given once some clothes, some as a gift, and the Prophet then asked that who should he give this clothing to. So people fell silent, and the Prophet then said, fetch Khalid for me. So Khalid says that it was brought to me, and I was a small girl at the time, and the Prophet took this clothing, this khamisa, in his hands, and he made me wear it. And when he made me wear it, he also made a lovely supplication. May you live long, so that your dress will wear out, and you will mend it many times. And then khamisa, on the clothing itself, there were some signs of green or pale designs. The Prophet saw these designs. He said, Oh Khalid, this is sana. Sana is like a word, an Ethiopian word, which basically means beautiful. So the Prophet said, Ya Khalid, hada sana. Like, this is really, really beautiful. So again, we see that he also used languages from other cultures to enhance his relationship with brothers, sisters, young children as well. So when you call someone, we find in the Arabic tradition, when you call someone with the name Abu, father of such and such, or which is mother of such and such. So we have in both of these examples, Ya Aba Umair, and the one that we talked about, Khalid. This instills a sense of self-worth in children. It makes them feel big and confident, right? This is why children, for example, love playing mummy and daddy, right? Because they tend to want to pretend to be like others. They want to be treated like adults. Often, unfortunately, we treat our children just like children, but when they get older, a good way of preparing them for life is to start treating them like children, maybe bringing them into our conversations, asking them questions that you would normally ask your spouse, and getting them to feel what it's like taking some responsibility. So you're really preparing them for their future roles. Ask for their opinions, even if they have little experience of life, right? Because it will make your children feel important, and that's very, very important as well, especially in our day and age where people need to feel a sense of self-worth as well. In fact, in some places you'll find, in some colleges or nurseries rather, you'll find that people start leadership training very, very young as well. So they learn the tricks and trade of leadership as well. But if one belittles children, they shout at them, they make them feel insignificant, then your children will indeed remain that way as well. In fact, it's reported that when Muhammad al-Fatih, the one who conquered Constantinople, we hear his success, but what we don't hear about is what his mother said to him when he was 5 years old. She took him to the beach and she showed him, it's reported, the walls of Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, and she said to him in those very important words, Anta ya Muhammad, man sayaftahu hadha aswar, that you'll be the one, O Muhammad, who will conquer these walls when you grow up. So at the age of 21, when he grew a little bit older, we find that it was verily true that this very son whose mother really inspired him, that he was able to, with God's help, conquer Constantinople. So when we inspire our children, they are able to conquer much in their lives as well. I hope that's been useful. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.